What is extreme heat? The IPCC defines a heat wave as a period of abnormally hot weather, often defined with reference to a relative temperature threshold lasting from 2 days to months. Wikipedia adds that it is also often accompanied by high humidity. They also write that heat waves have become more frequent and more intense over land across almost every area on Earth since the 1950s due to climate change. So then, what about the severity of heat waves? The IPCC states that the severity of a heat wave is based on how long it lasts, so its duration, and how far above the average temperature it is. Another important factor, though, according to Robert Henson's book The Thinking Person's Guide to Climate Change, is the nighttime lows. He writes that when it comes to the toll on people, animals, and plants, the duration and the warmth of the nighttime lows are the real killers. Atmospheric water vapor increases with temperature, keeping the nights warmer, but cool nights act as a critical safety value, as they give people a psychological and physiological break from the intense stress of the daytime heat. As the severity of heat waves increases, so do the dangers they pose. Some outcomes from the record-long heat wave in Phoenix this past summer demonstrate the dangers of increasingly severe heat waves. Patients with heat stroke and burns from the scorching asphalt swamped the hospitals following a 31-day streak of record heat, hitting 110 degrees Fahrenheit or higher every day. These packed hospitals contained patients with conditions ranging from heat cramps to heat stroke and death. There were 25 confirmed heat-related deaths, according to the ME in the article Phoenix's Month in Hell, a 31-day streak of record heat ends, while 249 potential heat-related deaths are also being investigated. In addition to the physical health hazards heat brings, it can also cause psychological stress and anxiety, which can lead to increased crime rates, especially violent ones. Besides direct impacts on humans, heat waves can also disrupt agriculture and industrial processes and damage infrastructure not suitable for heat. In Phoenix, air conditioners in homeless shelters broke down and mobile medical buses needed to be serviced to be repaired. Heat waves can also contribute to wildfires, floods, and power outages, as well as reduce the gross domestic product, agricultural yield, and worsen the effects of ozone pollution, according to Wikipedia. Even small differences in heat can be dangerous. During a heat wave, every 1 degree increases the risk of death by 2%. Higher temperatures can strain the heart and make breathing more difficult, increasing hospitalization rates for cardiac arrest and respiratory diseases like asthma. As far as which populations will be hit hardest by these future heat waves, Wikipedia states that the vulnerable people with regard to heat illnesses are those of low income, minorities, women, children, adults over 65, and people with chronic illnesses and disabilities. Geographical location also plays a role in determining which populations will be most affected by these heat waves. Those in urban areas are more vulnerable due to the urban heat island effect. The lack of vegetation, such as trees, results in less evapotranspiration, which usually helps cool down areas. Houses packed closely together results in long-wave radiation not being able to escape as easily. These often dense cities also consist of lots of heat-trapping pavement, especially dark concrete, which result in higher absorption of solar radiation. Redlining has also impacted which cities are hit hardest by the heat. Redlining refers to when the federal government created maps of cities and rated the riskiness of real estate investment, except race played a defining role. In Richmond, Virginia, neighborhoods were redlined because their residents were black, making them risky investments and resulting in people in those areas being denied access to federally backed mortgages and other credit. Redlined neighborhoods in Richmond are some of the hottest parts of town, and white neighborhoods that were not redlined are cooler today, a pattern that is seen nationwide. Formerly redlined neighborhoods across more than 100 cities are on average 5 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than in the summer, according to the article How Decades of Racist Housing Policy Left Neighborhoods Sweltering. Cities such as Baltimore, Dallas, Denver, Miami, Portland, and New York are all part of this phenomenon, with neighborhoods that are poorer and have more residents of color reaching 5 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit hotter in the summer compared to wealthier, whiter parts of the same cities. Relating back to the urban heat island effect, redlined neighborhoods contain less trees and parks to help cool the air and more paved surfaces, which absorb and radiate heat. The predominantly white neighborhood have trees and/or parks that cover 42% of land, while black areas only have 12%. Rob Jones, the executive director of Groundwork's Richmond chapter, puts it well when he says that inequality in housing, incomes, health, and education all make a difference when we are talking about vulnerability to climate change.